Saturday night, June 26th, Championship Wrestling again returns to Philadelphia at the Philadelphia Spectrum. On Saturday night, June 26th, you shall see no less than the spectacular 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal. Over the top rope being the process of elimination until one very lucky individual will collect some $10,000 for his efforts. That one individual could very well be the Superfly, Jimmy Snuka. Could likewise be the likes of Tony Atlas, Mr. USA, or Blackjack Mulligan, or Jay Strongbow, or Ivan Putski, or Mr. Fuji, Mr. Saito. It could be any of those and more, but no doubt the grueling test will prove for all who is not only the best in the Battle Royal, but who is the luckiest as well. In addition to that match, there will be some 8 matches to follow. One of them will be for the World Wrestling Federation title matchup. The champion, Bob Backlund, against the challenger, Cowboy Bob Orton. This match held in the lumberjack fashion, which means that you're going to see some 20 wrestlers, or ever how many they can get around the ring, surround the entire squared circle. If Backlund goes out, or if Orton goes out, either voluntarily or involuntarily thrown out, then one or all of those 20 men will scoop them up, throw them right back in. We're going to find out who is the better man in the no-holds-barred lumberjack matchup, Backlund or Cowboy Bob Orton. But right now, our guest, Lou Albano in the Superfly. Mr. Albano.
Well, I've got to say that this 20-man battle royal is a very dangerous encounter. You've got the finest athletes in the world today in that ring, and perhaps a little bit of luck is involved in this battle royal. But I will say that with Mr. Fuji, Mr. Saito, and a combined effort of the Superfly, Jimmy Snuka, I believe we have a game plan with the captain's guidance and tutelage. I believe we can get it all together, and there will be a decisive winner. At this time, I will not divulge who I will choose to make the victor, but we'll split that money.
Thank you for your time, Lou Albano.
Thank you for your time. You're a gentleman.
Lou Albano and the Superfly, Mr. Snuka. Joining us in a moment, the World Wrestling Federation champion, Bob Backlund. And Mr. Backlund, not all that happy over the recent turn of events at the Spectrum.
You know, Orton called me a lot of names, called me a coward because of something that happened a long, long time ago. But what do you call a man that brings the belt out to the ring and hides it and sneaks it out? I'm not going to stoop to calling anybody names like he called me.
Well, wait a minute.
But I got a few words that I could call a man that would do that.
For the benefit of those who do not know what happened recently at the Spectrum, would you please enlighten them?
I felt like a track man for one thing, Vince. I should have had my track shoes on instead of my wrestling shoes that night in that Spectrum. Orton started sneaking out when the going got a little bit tough. When he had the best of me, it was all right. He was right on me like a cat. But when the tide changed, he started moving out of that ring. And when he thought he was lost, when he thought he was beat, he wrapped this around my neck and choked me and snuck into that ring just like he snuck after this belt. And I looked at him, and the referee was holding his hand up in victory over me because I got counted out of the ring. Now, is that any kind of justice, Vince? Is that kind of fair? And I didn't have this belt with me last week because I threw it away, but I went up and dug it out because I thought it appropriate. A man should have a belt around his waist. And Mr. Orton, when we get into that ring, I'm going to have this belt in that Spectrum, and you're going to get this belt back. In a lumberjack match, I'm going to hand it to you like you handed it to me around your neck.
Comments from the World Wrestling Federation champion, Bob Backlund. No doubt Mr. Backlund will be really up for the...
Isn't it amazing how people turn things around? In answer to Bob Backlund's question, if a man had taken a belt out and hide it under the ring and win the match with it, he'd be a genius. That's what he'd be. But I didn't do that. What happened is Bob Backlund felt like a track star. Yeah, he was running the mile, brother. I was bowling up on him around that ring. He ran the mile in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I couldn't believe it. The man should have been in Moscow in 84 Olympic, but who cares about that? What we're getting down to is wrestling, baby. You say you're going to bring that belt back to me in the ring? There ain't no way, because first of all, the referee will take it away from you. Second of all, if he don't, I'll take it away from you and shove it down your throat, boy. When we get to Philadelphia, that's my town. Can you imagine this, the city of brotherly love? and they give Bob Backlund a belt to come in the ring and chase me with? No way, Dabba-da.